welcome back into the neutral zone here on Sports Radio. Another episode already. A lot to talk about tonight. In the hockey world, we've got Pittsburgh Penguins might be up for sale. Yeah, and wait till you see it. Might be buying them. Not necessarily who you think of when you think of hockey. That plus an update on Anaheim Ducks general manager situation. Boy, we just been having a really strange general manager situation going on in the NHL during the season. Then we've got, of course, updates on sports and games throughout the way. And then on the Lightning side, Zach's got some fun stuff for us tonight to kind of keep our mood really going. All that plus more here on the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio. Everybody buckle up. It's gonna be a fun show. And welcome back into the Neutral Zone, everybody. Welcome back to another week. Boy, they just keep bringing us back, Zach. I guess we got to keep talking.
I guess so. I'll take it.
He is Zach. I am Adam. We are the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio. Got a fun show lined up for you tonight. Got a lot of news. A very, very busy news day across the NHL that we will get into. We've got a team up for sale and an interesting buying group that would be looking at getting into the NHL. Plus, we've got a goal chase to get everybody updated on, and general managers just keep getting in trouble across the NHL. So more fallout from general managers losing their jobs for all the right reasons to lose a job. You know, you're a bad person, you lose your job. It's good that that's starting to happen across the NHL.
Yeah, for sure.
But then we'll have some fun stuff too, you know, chasing into Ovechkin, chasing Gretzky, and you've got just an awesome interview story to finish up the night. So we got serious, but we've got fun stuff too. Plus, of course, keeping you updated on all the games and scores happening on a busy Tuesday night here in the NHL. But before we get too much further along, let's go ahead and acknowledge our sponsors for the week here at IE Sports Radio.
First off, we'd like to thank the Southern California Warriors semi-pro football team. The world of semi-pro sports is unlike any other sports organization. Players pay to play in hopes of so many different outcomes, whether it's playing to get film, to try out for professional teams, big-time colleges, or just playing to stay in shape. No matter what, all semi-pro players have one thing in common, and that's playing for the love of the game. The SoCal Warriors have been on a quest to earn titles and give players second chances since 2017. Whether you're in Southern California or anywhere in the world, give semi-pro sports a chance if you love your sport. You may get that second chance you've been waiting for as an athlete. You can find them on social media on Twitter at SoCal Warriors, on Instagram at Southern California _Warriors, or on Facebook, Southern California Warriors. And Background Check International. Businesses, are you looking to background check a new hire? Let Kit Freeman take care of that for you. Kit founded and has managed Background Check International since 1994, and he's here to help you with the screening process. Contact Kit and let him help you make the hiring process that much easier. This business is used for professional background checks and not for the use of any crimes such as identity theft or any other illegal activity. You can find Kit on social media and his website, bcint.com, and on Facebook, Background Check International, BCI. And if you're a fan of the show, don't forget to follow us, IE Sports Radio, on social media, at IE Sports Radio, on Instagram, at IE Sports Radio, or on Facebook, IE Sports Radio, or the website, iesportsradio.com.
And on Twitter, this show is available on Twitter as well. You can find us at IESR Neutral Zone. I am at Adam_Karnick. Zach is at The Pupless. And if you are listening live here tonight on Tuesday night on Spreaker, feel free, hop on into the chat room. We can interact and have some fun that way. Or if you just want to sit back and listen to the two of us yammer on for a bit and let us entertain you, I can't fault you there. We are here for the people. All right. And without any further ado, let's get on into the show for tonight. We're going to start with what is probably the news of the day. The Wall Street Journal earlier today reported that the Pittsburgh Penguins may be up for sale. They have been owned since 1999 by Mario Lemieux and Ron Burkle, in a deal that saved the team from bankruptcy overall. So they've owned the team for the last 21 years. They are now reportedly in advanced talks to sell to the Fenway Sports Group. And according to Rick Westhead of TSN, it's possible that the deal could be completed as early as next week. So possibly by the time we go on air next week, this will already be a done deal and finished and finalized. The deal would effectively remove Burkle from the ownership group entirely. He would get bought out. Mario Lemieux would stay on in a minority ownership role, but he would still be involved with the team. The Fenway Group, of course, most famously owns the Boston Red Sox in the Major League Baseball. They also own the Liverpool Football Club in the Premier League, and they are a 50% share in the Rush Fenway Keselowski NASCAR racing team. So a lot of fingers and a lot of pies there with the Fenway Sports Group. Reportedly, from the Wall Street Journal, the Fenway Group has been interested in purchasing either an NBA team or an NHL team since April. President and CEO Sam Kennedy, quote, "We're a huge admirer of the National Basketball Association and obviously the National Hockey League. It represents a natural place for Fenway Sports Group to look," Kennedy said in a webinar back in April. The Penguins have not released any news. Obviously, talks are ongoing. You don't want to say the wrong thing and make people mad. Lemieux and Burkle originally spent a little over $100 million to get the team back in 1999. According to Forbes, the team is now worth $650 million. So suffice to say, that investment paid off.
Yeah, got their money back and then some.
Yes, yes. So it did well there. So it's exciting when a new ownership comes in. You never know what that's going to do, what that's going to bring. I find it very fascinating that it's the Fenway Sports Group just branching out into yet another of the major leagues. I mean, you think about the major sports leagues across the globe. Of course, there's the king of them all, the NFL. They're not there yet. But you've got MLB, kind of the granddaddy of them all. The Premier League. Soccer may not be big here in the U.S., but in all the other countries around the world, that's the king sport. That's the king of team sports there. NASCAR, that's no small fish. That's no small
slouch.
fry. Yeah, no, that's good ownership there. So then to get into the NHL, also a lot of fingers and a lot of pies, but big pies.
Very diverse portfolio.
Yes, yeah. So I can't read the Wall Street Journal report directly because this may shock you. I don't subscribe to the Wall Street Journal.
What?
I know. I have a college education. It's not that I couldn't read the words. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
You have more important things right now.
Sure. Yeah, we'll go with that. And I also have no money. So to add on another subscription there, Disney's got to get his money, and all those other ones have to get their money. You got priorities there,
Right.
All these other subscriptions, I can't subscribe to everything.
Yeah.
So that particular report I was getting off of SB Nation, which apparently does subscribe to the Wall Street Journal because they were able to quote it directly.
Oh, nice.
So that was Hooks Orpik of SB Nation wrote up that little review there that I was using. So it looks also like the Penguins, there have been off and on talks of them, possibly being sold. I mean, over the last 5 years, there was a report back in January of 2016 where there was reportedly no rift between Lemieux and Burkle, but if there's no rift, then why was there an article saying there's no rift?
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Exactly. So something was there 5+ almost 6 years ago. That was January of 16, so that's almost 6 years ago now. So trying to find the right partner, trying to find the right situation. Obviously, it was a strong enough relationship that they could keep it going for another 6 years before selling.
I mean, and they won 2 cups in the meantime. Well, more cups than that, but 2 cups just in the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, since 1999, they've won 3 cups.
2009,
I believe.
Yeah.
Since
2009, 16, and 17.
Yeah. So, yeah, they've figured out a way to make it work and put a good product out there for everybody. Be interesting to see. Earlier on Tuesdays, of course, in the afternoon, we have the Yinzer report, Ben Mattel. It'll be interesting to see what his take on this will be next week, because who knows, by the time he goes on next week, it could all be a done deal.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, I mean, it'd be a new management organization, new management structure, possibly, and so it brings in fresh blood and fresh eyes, and who knows? I mean, it could be good for them.
They did say, the report did mention that the Fenway Sports Group, they're not looking at cleaning house right away. Leaving the coach, leaving the general manager,
Sure.
leaving things like that alone, at least to start. Not going to come in and immediately be clearing house and cleaning up and things of that nature right out of the gate.
No, and I think that's the right way to go. I mean, is to let the season go and reach its conclusion, and then evaluate after that, if that's the case, if they do wind up, signing a deal.
Yeah. The Penguins are playing tonight.
I got it right here. They lost to Buffalo 2-1.
Not a good loss. Not a good loss for the Penguins. Apparently, they were not excited about the news. Lost at home to Buffalo too. Ugh. Not a good one there. Not a good one there. And that puts the Penguins down to 5-6-4 on the season. So we'll see once that gets finalized how that all works out. But that was the big news of the day, was the Penguins. The other news that we've got to kind of follow up on from last week is the situation going on in Anaheim with their now former general manager, Bob Murray. The story initially broke right before we went on the air last week that Murray was being put on leave.
Right after we got done, actually.
Oh, it's right. Yeah, it was right after we got done. Was word dropped that Murray was being put on leave, and then the next day, Murray resigned. He'd been with the team since 2008, serving as the general manager, so 13 years. And while there isn't a specific story that's come out, this is all kind of tied back to the Blackhawks investigation, of course, from just a few weeks ago. Right after that came out, Emily Kaplan of ESPN reported that the NHL sent out a memo to all of its teams that effectively said, look, if you guys have any problems with senior management, get it taken care of now. Get it cleaned up, get it cleared out, get it taken care of. So teams then began kind of putting out feelers of investigations. And, hey, are there any skeletons in the closets that need to be addressed? And in the case of Anaheim, they were hearing from a lot of players and other staff that, yeah, we've got a problem with Bob Murray. That there wasn't necessarily one big story, but there were a lot of little stories of him being very emotionally abusive, that he would scream and rant and belittle and just attack people to the point of being abusive. Not physically, but emotionally and mentally, just not creating a healthy workspace.
Yeah.
So
hostile work environment.
Yeah, very, very hostile work environment. There's a report. The Ducks have commissioned an external independent report, much like what the Blackhawks did. So here in the coming weeks, we will kind of find out what the smoking gun or smoking guns were in this story. But for now, Murray is out. He has entered an alcohol abuse. Sorry, I want to get the words right here. I'm reading it, and I want to make sure I get the words correct, especially in things like this. Words are always important. Murray has enrolled in an alcohol abuse program. So he may or may not have had a drinking problem that may or may not have contributed to this.
True.
So we'll find out there. So in the meantime, they have Jeff Solomon has taken over as the interim general manager. And the team is meanwhile going to be doing a more thorough and further search for a new general manager.
For sure.
So that gets us caught up on the news. It would be nice if we could go a couple weeks now without a general manager doing something stupid.
Yeah. Oh, come on. It's good fodder for the show, though.
It is, but it's also emotionally draining to have to read these reports about people being evil. You can only take so much evil,
This is true.
So it would be nice. I want to put this out there to all the teams. First of all, if there is something evil going around, don't bury it, just for my sake. But if we could stop being evil for a few weeks, it would be much appreciated. We'd all feel better for it if that would happen.
Yeah. Ducks are currently playing right now against the Capitals. They're tied 0-0. 17 minutes and 45 seconds left to go in the first.
So they're obviously out in Anaheim then tonight.
Yeah.
Well, that ties in nicely to talk about Ovechkin for a little bit before we go to a break.
Sure.
Get us caught up on the Great Eight.
Yes. All right. So last time we talked, Ovechkin had tied Brett Hull with 741 career goals. He has now broken that tie with 742 career goals. Gretzky is still ahead of him. He's still number one on the all-time goals list. But Gretzky expects and he hopes that Ovechkin will break his all-time record. Ovechkin has accomplished that goal all with one team. The top five around him, they had all played for multiple teams. Gretzky, Gordie Howe, Jaromir Jagr, and Brett Hull. Over the course of his career, Ovechkin has found the most success against the Lightning. Yeah, believe it or not. He's faced them 74 times, and in those 74 games, he's notched 49 goals. Next on that list would be the Winnipeg Jets, and at one point, Atlanta Thrashers.
Atlanta Thrashers, yeah. Oh, yeah, he does go back far enough that he played against Atlanta.
Yeah, because they said at the one time Southeastern Division.
Yes, the ill-fated Southeastern Division.
I still follow an Atlanta Thrashers page on Twitter. They're pretty funny, actually.
Hey, when you're a hockey team in an SEC market, you got to do something to stay relevant.
Yeah. Well, anyways, next on the list is the Winnipeg Jets. Ovechkin has played 67 games against them, and he has 48 goals in that series. The article I read said, Ovechkin's like a fine wine. He just keeps getting better with age.
He does. He does. I mean, he has averaged this season, he's averaging darn near a goal a game. He can't possibly maintain that, but it's darned impressive. I mean, he should catch Jagr yet this season. You know, he is coming into tonight, he is 24 goals behind Jagr for third all time. I could see him scoring 24 more goals this season.
Yeah.
You know, we're only in November. We haven't even hit Thanksgiving yet.
We're a month into the season, yeah.
Yeah. It's entirely possible that he'll score that many yet this season and then be in third all time.
That's the one you sent me, right?
Yes, the Sporting News article.
Yeah. So Sporting News, they had two good projections on it. They said an average projection where Ovechkin could pass Gretzky in 2024 or 2025 in that season. And then if you had like an optimistic projection, he could pass Gretzky in 2023-2024 season.
Yeah, he'd have to maintain a blistering pace, though, to do it in 2023. And you're talking, that's a season and a half. You know, that's a lot of goals to score.
Yeah. Gretzky, let's see here. So they're saying that his record is going strong 28 years later. And no one's even close. No one's even within 100 goals of it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, outside of Ovechkin, nobody's going to come even close.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, you look at Ovechkin's numbers throughout his career. I'm looking at it right now. The worst he's ever done in a season is he's averaged 0.4 goals per game. That's still, in an 82-game season, I'm going to use a calculator because math. Yeah, that's still 33 goals in a season. That's his worst. You know, and the article pointed this out too. He's had to deal with, you had the lockout season in 2013 where they only played 48 games. He also had the COVID season where everything stopped and they only played 68 games in the 1920 season. And then last year where they only played 45 games because of the pandemic. So that's 3 seasons where he's been robbed of, due to nobody's fault. Yeah. You could argue the lockout season. Okay, there's maybe some blame to go around there, but certainly those last 2 seasons, that's not anybody's fault that he just happened to be playing
Once
hockey during a pandemic.
100-year occurrence.
Right, yeah. That's certainly nobody's fault, but it certainly cut into his overall production.
Yeah. Gretzky, let's see here. So he passed Gordie Howe for the most goals back in 1994, and then he scored his last goal on March 29th, 1999. So yeah, there's where the 28 years fits in.
Yeah.
Going into the season, Ovechkin was behind, Gretzky was leading Ovechkin by 164 goals.
So that's been one of Gretzky's untouchables for forever. Records are made to be broken. It's really cool to think, though, that we might be able to see that one fall. If there was one that you figured was not going to fall, it was that one.
Yeah.
Unless they, increase the schedule to be 100 games a year or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to think. I hope Ovechkin stays healthy. I hope he gets to do it. He's exciting to watch. That slap shot on the power play, and you know what's coming, but you can't stop it. It's a thing of beauty to watch every night, every year. It's going to be fun to watch. I hope he gets it.
Yeah, I hope so too. They said a reasonable high end might be 50 goals per season. 50 goals over an 82-game season comes out to 0.61 goals per game apace. If he plays every game moving forward, unlikely to say the least, he would need 249 games as of a couple days ago to catch Gretzky. That would be, there we go, that's where they plug the 24-25 season. But if he continues scoring at an even better pace, he might get there sooner. His career high goals per game is 0.79, which he set back in 08 and 09. So if he maintained that, that's where they're getting the 23-24 projection.
Yeah, that was 13 years ago.
Yeah, true.
Yes, he averaged those numbers, but that was a long time ago. Some better numbers to look at are, let's go back to the last truly full season he played, back in 18-19. He averaged .63. The year before that, he averaged .6. I think those are some more realistic numbers to be looking at for him. But still, just the sheer fact that it's not impossible that we could see Gretzky's record fall is really cool.
We could definitely be witnessing history, yeah. Gretzky also holds two other records, in case that one falls.
Oh, yeah, he's not lacking for records. I mean, he's got plenty more where that came from.
Yeah. But. So his other records related to most goals, he has two for most goals scored in a season. He had scored 92 in the 81-82 season with the Oilers, and he scored 87 the year afterwards, 83-84, still with the Oilers. And the top 5 or 10 that they had listed, I didn't even see Ovechkin on there. I was like, wow.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, who knew that hockey defensive men could make such great interviews? Zach found a great one on NPR starring a certain New Jersey Devils defenseman that was a lot of fun to listen to. So we'll talk about that. That's coming up next here on the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Harrison Glazer, and we're coming at you from the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. I cover the Jets, the Islanders, the Nets, and the Yankees.
This is Pierre Moss, and I cover the Mets, Knicks, Rangers, and the Giants.
Our show is live every Wednesday through Spreaker and a bunch of other ways to get our content. Again, we're the Show That Never Sleeps podcast. We talk about all those New York sports. It's a lot of fun. We get into all of it. Please tune in. Again, that's Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
And we look forward to having you guys right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS, the SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Notorious Law.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That give you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Welcome back into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. One of the drops we just played there was for the show that never sleeps, covering all things New York. Well, this is the greater New York area. A certain New Jersey Devils defenseman, PK Subban, did an interview recently that showed that hockey guys know how to have fun. Zach found this and had to share it, and it was a very cool interview. Zach, take it away.
Also, every Monday morning on the way to work, I've found some repeats, some reruns of Wait, Don't Tell Me on NPR. And so it's a fun little radio game show basically, and it's a recap on the week's news and all that. And they'll have celebrity guest stars here and there. Well, recently anyway, their guest star happened to be PK Subban. So they were talking to him about hockey and his life and how he's got 3 brothers that actually play in the NHL as well. Malcolm, who with the Blackhawks, I think.
He played with the Blackhawks last year. He is now, I will get back to you on where he is now. He is no longer a Blackhawk.
Okay. And then his other brother, Jordan. He has not played his brother Jordan yet, but he did face off against Malcolm, and Malcolm's team won. He didn't really want to admit that, but he said it was only fair because, he was the older brother who would always pick on his little brother, and let me pull the cords out of your video game system and ruffle your hair and beat you at basketball and stuff. And being a little brother, I can relate.
Malcolm is currently actually in the AHL. He's with the Blackhawks organization, their AHL affiliate in Rockford.
Ice Hogs.
Okay. Ice Hogs.
Gotcha.
They play the Wolves this weekend.
Gotcha. I'm surprised Chicago's affiliate isn't the Wolves.
Yeah.
That always.
You'd think the Wolves have actually bounced around. They keep getting sold off and moved to different teams. They are, I believe, they're currently Vegas's affiliate. I think. I will double check that real quick.
Oh, because one of them was even.
They were with Vancouver for a while, and then it's bounced around. They are currently...
One of them was even shared for a while there, I remember.
They are currently the affiliate of the Nashville Predators.
The Chicago...
They serve as... They're a dual affiliate for both the Predators and the Hurricanes this season.
Okay. Gotcha. Oh, one of those shared ones again. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I don't believe they've actually ever been an affiliate of the Blackhawks.
Really? That's crazy.
So, yeah, it's always been... I believe the Ice Hogs are older.
Okay.
And they've got a good relationship there, so they just haven't bothered to...
If it ain't broke, why don't fix it,
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, he's played his brother Malcolm. Malcolm beat him. He has not faced off against Jordan yet in the NHL. And they asked him if he... Okay, so being the older brother and Malcolm's your little brother, okay, so if you're playing them on the ice, do you take it easy on them? Do you more aggressive? Where are you on that stance? And he says, well, Malcolm's a goalie. I can't really do too much.
Yeah, it's hard to, as a defensive man, to get down there and attack the goalie, even if it is your brother.
Right, yeah. Even though you may want to. They asked him where he was in terms of dental hygiene and care and everything, being a hockey player, and surprisingly, he has all his own teeth.
Very rare for a hockey defensive man. You take a good one right in the front there.
Yeah. Just ask Duncan Keith.
Yes, just ask Duncan Keith about that. He came right back and played in that game, though.
Oof.
Spit his teeth out, picked him up, missed a couple of shifts so that they could put some painkillers in him, then went back out and finished the game.
That is badass.
Then, when he was being interviewed post-game, he asked the crowd if anybody knew of a good dentist.
Oh, well, yeah, that's... word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
They also asked him, because PK Subban was on the cover of NHL 19, they asked him if he ever played that game as himself, and the answer was no. He's gotten a little too busy these days to play video games. But some of the other contributors had said, "Oh man, are you kidding me? If I were on a video game and in a video game, of course I'd play as myself."
I could totally relate to Subban not having time for video games anymore. I can't tell you the last time I turned on my PlayStation and actually put in a game to play.
And not a kid's movie.
And not a kid's movie, exactly. Not a Paw Patrol kids disc. I can't tell you the last time that happened. It might have been a year ago.
My brother was texting me Paw Patrol stuff recently, and I'm like, I don't have kids. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh! Well, your brother and I need to compare notes then. I'm sure we would be able to commiserate quite well on that, on all the Paw Patrol stuff. That's what happens when you have kids.
I love that meme. The guy looking in the mirror. You're the adult. We don't have to watch 8 hours of Paw Patrol, okay? You're in charge here. Come on, remember that. But yeah, it was a very good interview with PK Subban, and it is on our Twitter page at the Neutral Zone.
Yeah, at IESR Neutral Zone. Zach just tweeted it out in the break there. He also they got him to play one of their trivia games, and by golly, he did well. Didn't need any help at all with any of the questions.
Not like they fed him any answers or anything.
No, not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. He did very well with it. It was a lot of fun. It's a great interview. It's not long. It's only about 11, 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Very, very good sport. He played along well.
Yeah, played along very, very well then. And the Devils tonight, were they one of the teams active tonight? I know you've got the full list there. I want to say the Devils were off tonight.
I don't see it, but they might have been. I only got the full,
oh, they are.
Scores.
They were supposed. Well, that actually ties in perfectly. They were supposed to play the Senators tonight.
Oh, that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Yep, they were supposed to play Ottawa tonight, but that didn't happen, did it?
Best laid plans.
Yes. Yes. Why didn't that happen tonight, Zach?
The Senators are experiencing a COVID outbreak. They have 10 players out, plus an assistant coach. They all test positive for COVID over the past 10 days. Their last game, they lost to Calgary 4-0 this past Sunday. So they're going to miss the next 3 games, or they're postponed anyways, at New Jersey Devils, which is supposed to be tonight, and then at home versus Nashville and the Rangers. This is the first time this season that the league has had to postpone due to COVID.
Yeah, after last season where, oh my gosh, it was seemingly every week or every other week something was getting postponed or shuffled or moved around. Thank you, Dallas Stars. There were a lot of constant... I say thank you, Dallas Stars. It really is serious. It really... I shouldn't blame the victims. You know, you do everything right, you can still get COVID. You can still get sick. You know, you're traveling around from city to city, to place, hotel to hotel. You take all the right precautions, and it can still happen.
Yeah.
Now, if you're out there being reckless, then that's a kind of different story.
Yeah. But yeah, the Senators' next scheduled game after their break, their postponements, is going to be this following Monday, November 22nd at Colorado.
Oh, that's not going to be a fun game to come back to. You go right back to Nathan McKinnon and the Avalanche. Ooh, that could be a tough start.
They might get destroyed.
Yeah. Oh, and we saw that last year when teams had extended absences due to COVID. They'd come back and be very, very rusty right out of the gate. Would not surprise me at all if that happens with the Senators. You know, you miss 10-plus days. You're not allowed to have any team activity right now. So best that the healthy players can be doing is kind of skating on their own, maybe hush-hush meeting. They can't even be meeting together legally. You know, you can hope nobody's watching and try to get some practice in with your other healthy teammates. But, yeah, it could take a little bit to kind of get back into the swing of it a little bit.
Skating together on Zoom, you know.
Thank you for that wonderful minute. I just envisioned full-on pads, full-on hockey uniform, maybe minus the helmet because, you know, that won't work well with the camera.
Yeah.
Stick in one hand, laptop in the other, literally going up and down the ice. Thank you for that mental image.
Well, that's what cell phones are for. You won't have to hold the whole laptop.
Oh, no. It works way better with the laptop. Works way better with the laptop in this case.
Yeah.
Zoom skating meetings. What the hell?
Well, what you said about rust, I mean, that kind of plays into you know, the scenario that happens in the playoffs almost every year. It feels like, you know, one team finishes up because they sweep another team, and then the next series goes to 7 games, and so we've got one team here sitting around waiting for the other series to finish up, and is it rust or is it rest?
This is even worse than that, though, because at least in that scenario, you have the possibility of scheduling practices or meetings or things like that with the teams.
To stay fresh,
Yeah, in this case, nothing. You aren't allowed to do anything with your teammates because you don't want to get sick. So yeah, it's even worse than that scenario that you bring up there.
Yeah.
So hopefully, and nothing but the best of health for the Senators. I do hope that those players and coaches recover quickly, respond. I mean this in all seriousness, drink body armor. It helps. Frankly, I like it better than Gatorade, but that's a discussion for another time. You know, that's we'll get into that later. But
it could be a Twitter poll.
It could be. It could be. You're holding your phone. I wonder if that might be a Twitter poll before the end of the show tonight. All right, we are going to take one more quick break, and then when we come back, we'll just real quick go around and give you score updates on everything going on around the league. This is the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio. He is Zach. I am Adam. We will be back right after this.
Hello and welcome to the Soccer Scoreboard Show with your host, Gabriel Montoya. This is the show for soccer, football fans, or whatever you call the beautiful game. Every week I tackle the latest and greatest news from around the soccer world, from the English Premier League to the World Cup to MLS, Liga MX, and more. You can listen to the Soccer Scoreboard Show and our lineup of fantastic guests every Friday at noon here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey, what's up, BS3 sports fans? If you love listening to the BS3 Sports Show, check out the weekend wrap-up every Monday at 12:15 Central Time, 1:15 Eastern, recapping the weekend in sports like you never heard it before. Comedy, interactive chat room, it's a must-listen. Weekend wrap-up on Spreaker.com. Part of the X Squad. Check it out. You won't be disappointed.
Ladies and gentlemen, hear me and hear me good. If you like sports, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like comedy, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like a different opinion coming from a different angle, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. So join me Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie. And of course, my man Lopan on the WaitAMinuteShow.com. Ain't that right, Lopan?
And welcome back into the Neutral Zone. We're going to do one last segment here with you before we get out of here tonight. And actually, while we were at that break, we were talking about the Ducks earlier. Well, there's some on-ice Ducks news that broke tonight. Ryan Fowler scored on a slap shot, near breakaway goal for the Ducks. And Ryan Getzlaf got the assist on it. That was career NHL point number 1,000 for Getzlaf. So congratulations to Getzlaf for reaching that huge milestone. Good for him, good for the Ducks. All right, before we get out of here tonight, wanted to give you just some quick updates. There are 3 games going on right now that are active, and then there are about 8 games that have wrapped up tonight. So
You want to do the live ones and I'll do the finals?
That sounds good to me. You start.
Oh, okay, sounds good. Jets beat the Oilers 5-2. Sharks beat the Wild 4-1. Coyotes beat the Blues 3-2. Sabres beat the Penguins, like we talked about earlier, 2-1. Flyers beat the Flames 2-1 in overtime even. Rangers beat the Canadiens 3-2, and Panthers beat the Islanders 6-1. Wow. Whew. And Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Predators 3-0.
And then live and active going on right now. At the end of the first period, the Ducks are beating the Capitals 1-0 on that goal. Ryan Getzlaf again, his 1,000th career point. In Las Vegas, out in the desert, the Hurricanes are beating the Golden Knights 2-0 at the end of one. And then with 6 minutes and change left to go in the game in Dallas, the Stars are up on the Red Wings 4-2. So lots of action going on in the NHL tonight. That Panthers game 6-1 over the Islanders. Ouch!
Spanked them.
Ouch! That is a beatdown. Though the Panthers did lose Sergei Bobrovsky. No, I'm sorry, not Sergei Bobrovsky. That didn't make sense. He's the goalie. They did lose a player, Alexander Barkov, one their centerman, was injured during the game. It didn't matter. The Panthers still won. However, we'll want to keep an eye on Barkov to see what that injury is. Hopefully it's not too serious. Let's see. He had a knee-on-knee collision with Islanders defenseman Scott Mayfield in the second period. He was not able to put any weight at all on his left knee. Mayfield was assessed a 5-minute major and a game misconduct for the play. That is not good news. That is never good news when you're dealing with an injury. But I mean, especially you're talking, one of your centermen, one of your important pieces. He's got 9 goals on the season already, 17 points on the season. Had an assist tonight, having an excellent start to the season, and now he's going to have to deal with this knee injury. Hopefully it's not too serious. Hopefully he's able to come back soon.
Yeah, for sure. We wish him the best.
Absolutely. Cam Atkinson had the overtime winner for the Flyers tonight over the Flames. Flyers 8-4-2 to start the season now. Just a surprising start to me, anyway, from the Flyers.
Good for them. Gotta watch out for that Gritty.
Yes. Well, he is scary.
You don't want to make him angry.
He is a scary dude. Well, I think that's going to basically wrap it up for us tonight. That will do it for this week. Just want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in. A shout out again to our sponsors, Southern California Warriors and Background Check Business. Thank you for continuing to support all that we do, not only here at Neutral Zone, but also on IE Sports Radio. If you're a fan of this show or a fan of any other of the shows here on the network, well, there's a way you can show us your appreciation and your fandom. We are now on Patreon. You can go to Patreon and check out ISR and support us on there. Even if it's all you can do is just a couple of bucks a month, it is very much appreciated. Helps keep the lights on, helps keep the mics warmed up and running, and allows us to continue to do what we do. So please, if you're able, support us on Patreon. We are it for Tuesday night. Nobody after us. Coming up next tomorrow, you've got the show that never sleeps with Harrison and Pierre talking all things New York. We have got Beantown Brandon talking all things Boston. I will be back on tomorrow night talking all things Chicago. And Marcus Los Great will be talking all things martial arts and boxing. Great stuff lined up for you tomorrow. As for us, we'll be back next week. We will have some Thanksgiving-themed stuff going on for you then. Until then, stay out of the boards. Try and light the lamp. We'll see you next week. He's Zach. I'm Adam. Everybody have a good week.